I want to keep continuing down this path, down in your MBA journey. So,
Right.
Okay, you gave us some great tips about how to approach your essays, particularly the idea around itemizing experiences. Now, let's talk about let's just say, so now we're lucky enough to have gotten an interview invitation from Sloan. Talk about what your interview experience was like to us.
Sure. Well, so first, just to take a step back, waiting for that interview invite is a stressful time.
Sure it is.
So just be patient.
Okay.
Yeah, so the MIT Sloan interview is actually very similar to any kind of job interview that you would get. I actually did a hub interview in downtown San Francisco, so I didn't end up flying back to Cambridge, which was convenient for me. But really, MIT is pretty transparent about what to expect in the interview. They actually send candidates a guide that details exactly what their behavioral event interviewing style is. And so in order to prepare, I really just worked with one of my friends who mock interviewed me and gave me some feedback on how my responses were structured, whether they were succinct, whether they were clear, and I really just worked on improving that. Now, that being said, I think there's one important caveat. I think it's important not to over-prepare, because you really want to come across as authentic and natural in your interviews. And if you over-prepare, everything's just going to sound scripted. So you got to strike that balance.
That's great. Okay, so great tips. I mean, we just walked from GMAT to essays to interview, and obviously that led to acceptance. But now, I kind of want to challenge you now to think maybe holistically about the entire process. And one question that I received from a member from Beat The GMAT was he was very interested in understanding whether you thought there was a single dominant factor that led to your being admitted to Sloan.
That's an interesting question. I don't think there's ever really a single dominant reason that gets an individual accepted to a top business school. All the top schools have their pick of the best candidates from all around the world, and it's really a question of both your quantitative stats, your GMAT score, your undergrad GPA, along with your unique experiences and who you are as a person. I think schools like MIT really try and drill down into how you make decisions and how you work and how you're going to be as a leader in society, and whether that fits the school and the school culture. And so, to a certain extent, I think that element is out of an applicant's control, and you just got to be yourself, and hopefully it works out.
That's great. I mean, so really great tips, really great advice. Love to hear what your plans are after MIT. I mean, you're going to business school for a reason. You mentioned things like becoming a stronger business leader. What kind of specific plans do you think you have in mind right now?
Specific plans? Well, my ultimate goal after business school is to be a CEO of an emerging startup and to really go from idea all the way to IPO. And hopefully I can accomplish that lofty goal after, building out my skill set at MIT Sloan.
That's great. So, final question for you.
Sure.
Any words of wisdom for current or future business school applicants?
Yeah, sure. So applying to business school is a long road. It can be stressful at times. So just, find friends and family members and just talk to them about what you're going through day in and day out, and just rely on that support system, because it's a tough battle to fight alone. And it's really important to just talk with your friends and family to maintain that confidence and to keep moving forward.
Yeah, it does help to have a community around you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like BeatTheGMAT.com.
Like BeatTheGMAT.com, exactly.
Shameless plug there. Well, Samir, thanks again for coming down to speak with me for this exit interview.
Sure.
And I think I can say, on behalf of all the Beat The GMAT community members, congratulations, and hope you have a great time.
Thanks for having me.
All right,
Thanks
thank you, Samir.
Good luck, everyone.